using your gifts for the kingdom. All right. All praise to the Most High. We're going to begin our lesson.
Praise to the Most High.
So we're going to go into this lesson. Using your gifts for the kingdom. The reason why the Most High brought me into this lesson, this subject matter, is because when we come into the truth, a lot of the time we come into the truth and we watch these teachers and we think that's it to it. We got the teachers and that's the only gift that's important to the movement or to the movement of the Most High. Still on the truth. So I wanted to go into this lesson to show that we must each use our individual gifts to reach those that are in the kingdom. I mean, that are not in the kingdom, but that the Most High has set up to become a part of His kingdom. So our first verse, we're going to go to Matthew 25, 14 through 30. 14.
For the kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling to a far country, who called his own servants and delivered unto them his goods. And unto one he gave 5 talents, and unto another 2, and to another 1. To every man according to his own ability.
All right. So here we see that Yeshua, our master, our soon coming king, here we see that he speaks of the kingdom of heaven modern day. So we understand that the Most High has given us each different talents and abilities in measure according to our ability. So we're going to read on and we're going to see what else he says about this. Go ahead and read that.
And delivered unto them his goods, and to one, and straightway took his journey. And he that received the 5 talents went and traded with the same, and made them other 5 talents. And likewise, he that had received 2, he also gained other 2. But he that received 1 went and digged in the earth, and hid his Lord's money.
All right, so we see the first 2, the one who received 5 talents and the one that received 2 talents, taking and using their master's money according to the ability that's given them. We see them taking and using the money, and they're going and multiplying it for the kingdom. But the last servant went and took his talent and he hid it in the ground, basically taking his talent and doing nothing with it, sitting on it because he was afraid to use it. Go ahead.
After a long time, the master of those servants cometh and reckoneth with them. And so he that received 5 talents came and brought other 5 talents.
You read?
Saying, Master, thou deliverest unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have gained beside them 5 talents more. His master said unto him, Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things.
So the master tells his servant, because you went out and used your ability and gained more from it and multiplied it, you are going to, since you were so faithful with the little that I gave you, I'm going to give you more to rule over. So let's see the next servant with the 2 talents.
Now enter thou into the joy of thy master. He also that received 2 talents came and said, Master, thou deliverest unto me 2 talents. Behold, I have gained 2 other talents besides them. His master said unto him, Well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy master.
So we see here that both receive the same congratulation from their master. They both received the same reward to rule from only the little that they had to rule over much. Because you start off with a certain amount according to what the Most High gives you, according to what He sees is in you, and then you use that and you multiply it for the kingdom so that you can use it to reach others that have the same gift, the same abilities, and sometimes they will have completely different abilities than you. But you use your gifts so that you can go out and reach others for the kingdom. So let's read what happened. Let's read the last servant, the one with the one talent that didn't do anything with his. And read that.
Then he that received the one talent came and said, Master, I knew thee that thou art an hard man, reaping where thou hast not sown, and gathering where thou hast not strawed. And I was afraid, and went and hid my talent in the earth. Lo, there thou hast that is thine.
So this servant went and told his master, you know what? I know you're a shrewd master, and I know if I would have failed with my talent, I believe that I would have been, punished for it, or I believe that you would be unpleased. So therefore, I didn't do anything with it. I didn't even try. I didn't even try to go do anything with my talent in any remote way. Go ahead and read on.
And I was afraid. His master answered and said unto him, Thou wicked and slothful servant, thou knewest that I reap where I sowed not, and gather where I have not strawed. Thou oughtest therefore to have put my money into the exchangers, and then at my coming I should have received my own with interest.
He said, you could have at least taken and put my money with the exchanges or with the bankers, so that when I had received my money back, I would have gotten it with interest. Instead, you just sat on it and did nothing. Go ahead and read the rest.
Then therefore the talent from him, take therefore the talent from him, and give it unto him which hath 10 talents. For unto everyone that hath shall be given, and he shall have abundance. But from him that hath not shall be taken away even that which he hath.
Now this is an important thing. He said, take that from this servant and give it to the one who had the most, the one with the 5 talents that made it 10. He said, give it to him, because he actually will take my money and take my talents and multiply it and reach others with it, so that he can bring back a multiplication to my kingdom. So this is very important. When the Most High gives you an ability and you don't use it for the kingdom, everything that you have as far as the Most High has blessed you with, He's going to take it and He has it stored up for His righteous servants that will actually do something with it, so that they can continue on doing what they're doing, so that they won't fall short, whereas you will miss out on your chance to go into the kingdom yourself. Let me see if I can find that verse. Kip, you know that verse, the wicked store up for the righteous? The servant with the 1 talent represents those who are out in the world who have the talents of the Most High but never do anything to build the kingdom, to use it for the kingdom. But instead, they take that wealth and they squander it. And they, instead of using it, so when the Most High sends righteous their way to preach to them, they'll go and take that, and they'll give it to the righteous, and the righteous will use it to be an upbuilding for them. Let's see, Proverbs 13 and 22. You got it?
Yes.
Proverbs 13:22.
Book of Proverbs chapter 13, verse 22, and it reads, "A good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children, and the wealth of the sinner is stored, is laid up for the just."
So it says a good man leaves an inheritance for his children and his children's children. But the sinner lays up wealth for the just. The wealth of the sinner is just laid up for the just. So the Most High saying Yeshua is saying with this parable, what he's saying here is, he says, either you use your talent, your one talent, to build the kingdom, and you multiply that talent, and you reach others with that talent, or your talent, everything, all your wealth that the Most High has given you, and all the talent that the Most High has given you, will be squandered, and then it'll be given to the righteous. And then you will become basically a step ladder for the righteous, so that they can move on to their next point to getting closer to the kingdom. So let's go on to our next verse here. Let's go to Matthew 24:44 through 51. This next one is another parable of Christ, which speaks of using your ability for the kingdom. 24:44, you got it? There you go.
Okay. Book of Matthew chapter 24, verse 44. "Therefore be ye also ready, for in such an hour as ye think not, the Son of Man cometh."
Read on.
"Who then is a faithful and wise servant, whom his master hath made ruler over his household, to give them meat in due season?
Keep reading.
Blessed is that servant, whom his master, when he cometh, shall find so doing."
He says, blessed is the servant when his master finds him. He says, servant who the master finds doing and using those gifts and those talents which he was blessed with. He says, blessed is that servant that he finds doing and using his gifts. Read on.
"Verily I say unto you, that he shall make him ruler over all of his goods."
He says that servant will become ruler over all the goods of his master. He says, blessed is he, because he's going to end up ruling over it. So now you see the parallel to the other story. He says, because you've done so well with these 5 talents and these 2 talents, he says, you have been faithful with the little. Now I'm going to bless you with much more. So let's keep reading.
"But if that evil servant saith in his heart, My master delayeth his coming, and shall begin to smite his fellow servants, and to eat and drink with the drunken, the master of that servant shall come in a day when he looketh not for him, and in an hour that he is not aware of, and shall cut him asunder, and anoint him his portion with the hypocrites. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth."
So he says to that servant who is wicked and say, you know what? Christ is taking a long time to come. I'm going to go and I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to use my talent and what I want to do, and I'm going to go and build my wealth in the world, and I'm going to go and squander everything I have in the world instead of using it for the kingdom of the Most High. So now you can see a pattern developing here. He says, use your talent and use your time to serve for the kingdom, or what you have will be first taken and given to those who are doing. I've seen it before. It will be taken and given to those who are doing something, and then you'll be thrown asunder until the judgment, and then you'll miss out on the kingdom completely. So let's move on to our next verse. Let's go to 17 and 20 through 21. Now let's understand the kingdom and the coming of the kingdom and what it means. What is the kingdom, and how do we know the kingdom? Or what is the kingdom made of? You got it, Luke 17 and 20.
Luke chapter 17, verse 20. And when he was demanded of the Pharisees, when the kingdom of Ahiah should come, he answered and said, the kingdom of Ahiah cometh not with observation.
So he says the kingdom of Ahiah does not come with observation. He says the kingdom doesn't come for you looking around for it and waiting for it. That's not how the kingdom comes. Let's see, how does the kingdom come? Let's see how the kingdom comes.
Verse 21, neither shall they say, lo here or lo there, for behold, the kingdom of Ahiah is within you.
He says the kingdom, they're not going to be saying the kingdom is over there, the kingdom is over there. They're going to say, no. Yeshua said, the kingdom is within you. The gifts and the talents which he's placed inside you, that's the kingdom. You're literally building the kingdom from what he puts inside of you. So when you're looking around and you're trying to find out when's the kingdom coming and stuff like that, that's good, understand the signs of when the Most High is going to bring down his kingdom. But what is a kingdom without subjects and without a population? The Most High is using you and your talents to build up the kingdom. The kingdom is not a bunch of buildings and palaces and walls and stuff. A people make a kingdom. A people make a nation. You can't have a nation without people. So the kingdom is within you. You use your talents and your ability to build the kingdom. Let's go to Corinthians, chapter 12, verse 1 through 31. So now let's see these gifts and talents that are within us that we're supposed to use to build this kingdom. 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 1. Read that.
1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 1. Now concerning spiritual gifts, brethren, I would not have you ignorant.
Okay.
Reading on. Ye shall know that ye were Gentiles carried away unto these dumb idols, even as ye were led. Wherefore I give unto you, I give to understand. I may give you to understand that no man speaketh by the Spirit of Elohim called Yeshua accursed, and that no man can say that Yeshua is the master, but by the Rawat HaKodesh.
So if you see anybody running around talking about Yeshua was not the Messiah, Yeshua couldn't die for Israel, he said this person is accursed. He's talking about Yeshua was accursed. He said this person does not speak with the Spirit of the Most High. They don't understand the Torah. They don't understand the precepts and the scriptures, because they're not looking into the prophecies and stuff like that. They're looking into their own flesh, thinking that because I found out that I'm an Israelite, that's it. That's all I need to know. The Most High throughout the whole Old Testament was telling us, you have sinned. You have sinned. The Most High cannot look upon sin. So if you think that finding out that you're an Israelite and that's it, you're going to enter because of that, not true. Because you still have sin. The sin of your forefather Adam. Now, if you don't want to believe in Yeshua, I'll leave it up to you to figure out how to get into the kingdom without him. Read on. First Corinthians chapter 12.
Verse 4. Now there are diversities of the gift, but of the same Spirit. And there are differences of administrations, but of the same Master. There are diversities of operations, but it's of the same Elohim which worketh all in all.
So right here, Paul is telling us, he says, there's going to be a bunch of diversity of gifts. Not everybody is going to be a teacher. Not everybody is going to be an apostle. He says there's diversity of gifts. He says, but it's all from the same Spirit. Read on.
But the manifestation of the Spirit is given every man to profit withal. For to one is given the Spirit the word of wisdom, to another the word of knowledge.
So one is given wisdom, to one is given knowledge, but both by the same Spirit. Read on.
To another faith by the same Spirit. To another gifts of healing by the same Spirit.
So the one, he gives an abundant gift of faith, and to the other, he gives a gift of healing. Read on.
To another the working of miracles, to another prophecy, to another discerning of spirits.
So another gives the work of prophecy, the discerning of spirits, the ability to know one spirit from the other, the ability to work miracles. He gives us each different operations, because if we each just had one, we wouldn't have. If we each had all of them, then we would not have to rely on the body, and we could all strike out on our own without having to be independent on the body of Christ. Read on. Dependent, I mean.
To another diverse kinds of tongues, and to another interpretation of tongues. But all these work is that one and the self-same Spirit, dividing to every man severally as he will.
So he says, to one is given the ability to speak in tongues, and to another is given the ability to interpret the tongues. Now, there's a movement going on inside of Orthodox, what they call Orthodox Christianity, that they say if you don't have the ability to speak in tongues, you don't got the Spirit. Well, it says he gives individual gifts to each person, and tongues is not a gift that's given to everybody. Tongues is given to individual parts of the body. It's not that stuff that you see in church. Because that's a bunch of craziness, because the disciples inside of the Bible, inside the New Testament in Acts, when they started speaking different languages. Read on. I want you, because Paul's going to break it down in here. The gift of tongues. And that's not for everybody. That's for individual people in which the Most High will give it to. Not everybody's going to get tongues. Read on.
But all these work is that one and self-same Spirit, dividing to every man severally as he will.
He says, but all these work as one. That one, the self-same Spirit. He says all these work from the same Spirit, as and the dividing of these gifts to every man severally as the Spirit wills it. Read on.
Whereas the body is one and has many members, and all members of that one body being many are one body, so is Mashiach.
Read on.
For by one Spirit we are all baptized into one body, we that be Jews or Gentiles, whether we be bond or free, and have all made to drink of one Spirit, into one Spirit.
So it says we are all one body, but he says we're not all one member. Read on. I want you to read on so you can get an understanding of this.
For the body is not one member, but many. If the foot shall say, because I am not the hand, I am not the body, is it therefore not the body? And the ear shall say, because I am not the eye, I am not of the body, is it therefore not of the body? If the whole body were an eye, where were the hearing? If the whole were the hearing, where were the smelling?
So he says if the whole body was one member, he says where's the ability for the rest of the body? If the whole body was an eye, where would the smelling and the hearing and the ability to move around? Like the eye being prophecy, the ear being those who are able to intake information and use it to understand the scriptures more and break down the scriptures. The feet and the legs to help the body to go and move around the word is those who go out and strike out, the apostles and the teachers. This is the body. It says this is not all just one member, because if we were all just one member, then where would all our different abilities to reach out to everyone else? Read on.
For now hath Elohim set the members, but now hath Elohim set the members, every one of them in the body, as it has pleased him. If they were all one member, where were the body? But now are they many members, yet but one body. And the eye cannot say unto the hand, I have no need of thee, nor the head to the feet, I have no need of you. Nay, much more those members of the body, which seem to be more feeble, are necessary.
He says, even if some of these members of the body seem as if they're unnecessary, even if they seem as if your gifts, your talents, seem as if they're of no use to the body, he says these are still necessary. Some people inside of the body will never be seen in public, like some of the teachers, like some of the prophets, some of the people that are out front, in the front. Some of these people, they're taking care of the children. They're making clothes for the people of the body. They're working with the computers. They're helping operate the different programming that goes behind trying to get our network lined up. Some create the website so we can move the word forward. But they are never seen some of the time, but it's still important no matter what. Because it meets a need that somebody else can't do. So it says, even though it seems like your gift and your ability is feeble and unnecessary, it's still needed for the body to move on. Keep reading.
Verse 23, and those members of the body, which we think to be less honorable, upon these we bestow more abundant honor, and our uncomely parts have more abundant comeliness. For our comely parts have no need, but I have tempered the body together, having given more abundant honor to that part which lacked. And that there should be no schism in the body, and that the members should have the same care for one another.
So he says, even though those who seem less comely, the Most High has bestowed it upon them to be more comely. Those who have seemed less honored, those gifts in which He has given you to use for the body, He says those who have those gifts, He says, those, the Most High will still bestow honor upon you, even sometimes greater than those who might be out in the forefront. You look at some of these teachers, and you look at some of their websites and stuff like that, you got the teachers in the forefront, yeah, they're teaching, but who makes the website? Who's taking care of the different administrations? Who's making sure that every call is lined up perfectly and all the numbers and all the different stuff is lined up to make sure that the word goes forth? All these things are important. Read on.
Verse 26. And whether one member suffer, all the members suffer with it. Or one member be honored, all the members rejoice with it. Now ye are the body of the Messiah, and the members in particular. And Elohim hath set some in the church, first apostles, and secondary prophets.
So he set up apostles, and then he set up prophets. Read on.
Thirdly, teachers.
Teachers. Even the teachers that aren't seen. There's some teachers that's not going to be seen. Those teachers that teach the children, some that teach the classes, some of the time you're not going to be out in the forefront, but it's still important to the body. So even if you think you don't have a gift for the body, I'm telling you different right now. The Most High has given us each a different gift. No matter how important it seems to you, you use it for the body. Because the Most High, when it comes to judgment day, and the Most High sees that you haven't used your gift, He says, why didn't you use it? He says, and he's like, I was afraid to use it because you're a harsh master, and like that one servant with the one talent. And he says, you didn't use your body. You didn't use your ability. Read on. You had the teacher.
After that, miracles, then gifts of healing, helps.
That helps. Different things, different operations within the body that need help, like cleaning summertime. Even the janitor has someone in there that helps to clean the facility. Some people that help to organize the meeting rooms, stuff like that. Care packages, going out sending different stuff. He says this is also a part of the body. Read on.
Government,
helping to structure the system. Read on.
diversities of tongues.
And diversities of tongues. Read on.
Are all apostles? Are all prophets? Are all teachers? Are all workers of miracles? Have all the gifts of healing? Do all speak in tongues? Do all interpret? But covet earnestly the best gifts, and yet show I unto you a more excellent way.
So he says, these are all important. He says they are all excellent. He says not all are going to be apostles, not all are going to be prophets, not all are going to be teachers. He says not all are going to be workers of miracles. Not everyone's going to have the gift of healing. And not everyone is going to speak in tongues. And not everyone's going to be an interpreter. There are different points of the body with different structures, and the Most High has given everyone a gift. So don't look down on your gift because it's given from the Most High. It's not from you, it's from the Most High. So when you see you have a gift, if you look down on that gift and say, you know what, this gift is useless, you're talking to the Most High. Because He gave it to you. And you didn't give it to yourself. He gave it to you to use it, even if it seems small. James 2, 18 through 20.
The book of James, chapter 2, verse 18 through 20. Yea, a man may say, Thou hast faith, and I have works. Show me thy faith without thy works, and I will show thee my faith by my works.
So James said, you know, it's great that you have faith. But he says, it's even better that you have faith with those works, and you have works with that faith. He said, read on. I want you to read that so they can hear.
Yea, a man may say, Thou hast faith, and I have works. Show me thy faith without thy works, and I will show thee my faith by my works.
Read on.
Thou believest that there is one out of iron. Thou doest well. The devils also believe and tremble. But wilt thou know, O vain man, that faith without works is dead. 20, verse 21.
So he says, know that faith without the works is dead. He says you can have faith that there's one out of iron. You can have faith that he's in existence, but he says you must have faith. You have works with that faith, because faith without works is dead. You have faith that the Most High is going to build His kingdom. You have faith that the kingdom is being built, but He also wants us to work. He wants us to do the works according to the faith. You have faith that the kingdom is coming, but the kingdom is within you. Therefore, do the works according to the faith. Read on, please.
Was not Abraham our father justified by works when he had offered Isaac his son upon the altar? Seest thou how faith wrought by his works, and by works was faith made perfect?
He says by faith, he says your faith is made perfect by the works. So the Most High has given you a gift, and you have faith that the Most High is going to use you for the body. Therefore, use that gift. And the Most High will use that gift to make your faith perfect. He says faith faith with the works makes the faith perfect. Read on.
And the scripture was fulfilled, which saith, Abraham believed Elohim, and it was imputed unto him for righteousness, and he was called friend of Elohim. Ye see then how by works a man is justified, and not by faith only. Likewise, also was not Rahab the prostitute justified by works, when she had received the messengers and sent them out another way. For as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead also.
So it says, as the body without the spirit is dead, so is faith without works. Let's go to Romans chapter 12, verse 3 through 13. Got it? Romans 12, 3 through 13.
Romans chapter 12, verse 3 through 13. For I say, through the grace given unto me, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, according as I may have dealt to every man the measure of faith. For as we have many members in one body, and all members have not the same office, so we, being many, are one body in the Messiah, and every one members one of another, having then gifts of differing according to the grace that is given to us, whether prophecy, let us prophesy according to the proportion of faith. Our ministry, let us wait on our ministry, or he that teacheth on teaching, or he that exhorteth on exhortation. He that giveth, let him do it with simplicity. He that ruleth with diligence. He that showeth mercy with cheerfulness. Let love be without dissimulation. Abhor that which is evil, and cleave to that which is good. Be kindly affectioned to one another with brotherly love, and honor preferring one another. Not slothful in business, fervent in spirit, serving the Most High.
So we see here once again, Paul is telling us in another one of his books, he's saying to use your gifts. And not only to use your gifts, he said not only to use your gifts, but he says let love be without dissimulation. And he says abhor that which is evil. He says, and cleave to that which is good. But he also says, be kindly and affectionate one to another, with brotherly love and honor, and preferring one another. This also goes into the gifts, because when you think about it, it comes to what we call envy and jealousy. He says, no matter what your gift, he says, still remember, we should love each other with brotherly love and be kindly to others, even if you believe that someone's gift might seem higher or better than your own. So let's go now to our third to last verse. And we're going to wrap up the call after these last three precepts. Let me read.
The book of 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 2. Preach the word. Be instant in season, out of season. Reprove, rebuke, exhort in all long suffering and doctrine.
He said, be instant in season and out season. Excuse me. Even when it comes to reproving, rebuking, exhorting, with all long suffering and doctrine. He says, be instant. That includes your gifts. Be instant with your gifts, according to what the Most High has given you, according to what He has given you. Be instant with it to build the kingdom, because the kingdom is within us. Let's go to Revelation 3 and 15. Also get James 4 and 7.
The book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 15 through 16. I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. I would thou wert cold or hot. So then, because thou art lukewarm, neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. He says, I would rather you be cold or hot. He says, I'd rather you be in it, hot and in it, and ready to use your gift at a moment's notice, instant, in season and out of season. I'd rather you be hot and prepared to use your gifts instantly and prepared at all times for the kingdom, or cold, telling me, you know what? I don't want nothing to do with the kingdom. I don't want to use my gifts for the kingdom. I just leave it alone altogether. But he says, those who are lukewarm, he says, even you are disgusting to the Most High. He said, I'm going to spit you out of my mouth. Why? Because you're showing some signs of, yeah, I want to be in it, but you're not completely in it because you're not completely prepared to be instant. You're not completely prepared to be ready at all times. Not completely prepared to use your gifts for the kingdom. Not prepared to go and do what the Most High wants you to do all the time. Not always prepared to say yes to the Most High when He wants you to do something. When the Spirit tells you to do something, you're like, yeah, I might. Or, no, I don't want to do it summertime, and yeah, I want to do it. I'll do it summertime, and I don't want to do it the other time. The Most High says, I'd rather you be hot or cold. Either you choose Satan and his side, or you choose me. Because thou sayest, I am rich, and increase with goods, and have need of nothing, and knowest not that thou art wretched, and miserable, and poor, and blind, and naked. He says, you might seem on this earth that you have riches and that you have some type of honor and blessing on this earth because you're lukewarm. You dipping into the world and you're dipping into the kingdom. You dipping into what you think you're dipping into the kingdom. He says you're wretched. He says I want you to be hot or cold. Choose me or choose the world. This goes into the gifts because he said either you use your gift for me or the world. But for those who want to be one foot on either side, when Moses drew that line in the sand, and he said, if you with me or if you with the Most High, or you with this false prophet, there was nobody standing in the middle of the line. Think about it. When that ground cracks, even the people in the middle are still going to get swallowed up. So he says, be hot or cold. Be all the way over here or don't be at all. Let's go to our next scripture, James 4 and 7. Submit yourselves, therefore, to Elohim. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. He says, submit yourself to the Most High. Submit yourself completely. Be hot to the Most High. Even down to what He's giving you for the gifts. Even if there seems like there's something out in the world that your gift might match, what might match up with your gift, He says, be completely submitted to what the Most High wants you to do at all times, in season and out season. Be hot for the Most High. And He says, resist the devil. If you got to ask the question, if it doesn't seem wrong, but it also doesn't seem right, that's a gray area. That's a lukewarm area. Stay away from it. Because that's usually something wicked in disguise. So now let's go to our last verse. 1 Corinthians 3 and 13. Wait one second. Let's go to 10 and read from 10 down. 3 and 10. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 10. According to the grace of Ahai which is given unto me as the wise master builder, I have laid the foundation, and another buildeth thereon. But let every man that take heed how he buildeth thereupon. He says, I've laid the foundation. This is Paul speaking. He says, I might have laid the foundation, but another man is coming to do the next job to put down the next part.
Paul says in his other writings, he says, one man might sow, and another man watereth, but the Most High comes, and He gives the increase.
Verse 11. For other foundation can no man lay than that is laid, which is Yeshua the Messiah. Now, if any man build upon this foundation gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, stubble, every man's work shall be made manifest, for the day shall declare it, because it shall be revealed by fire, and the fire shall try every man's work of what sort it is.
He says, for every work that you do, either for the Most High or for the kingdom, and even some of the works for the kingdom which you do grudgingly. He says, every work shall be tried in the fire. Let's read the next verse and see what he says onward.
If any man's work abide which he hath built thereupon, he shall receive a reward.
He says, if your work abide after that fire goes and burns up all the rest of those works, and if your work abides, what you did with your gifts for the kingdom, your work abides, then he says you will receive a reward. Let's read on.
If any man's work shall be burned, he shall suffer loss, but he himself shall be saved, if so as by fire.
The things which you did for the world, if you go and you went and turn around and say, I don't want that no more. You do it for the Most High. He says you might suffer loss of all the different stuff that you had gained in the world. He says you're going to suffer loss, but you're going to be saved. So at the end of the teaching,